Welcome to this deep dive, really tailored for you into a pretty core teaching from A Course in Miracles.
Hmm.
Today we're diving into Lesson 202, and this one, well, it revisits the message from Lesson 182. I will be still an instant and go home.
A really powerful one.
Yeah, definitely. Think of this as maybe your fast track to understanding how just a simple moment of stillness can, unlock this profound sense of peace.
Yeah, and what's really compelling about bringing this lesson back up in review, Lesson 202, Revisiting 182, is how fundamental the Course sees this idea.
Right.
This inherent ability we all seem to have to tap into deep peace just by being still.
Okay.
And today, yeah, we've got some great stuff to look at, a study guide, bits from the workbook itself, a specific review piece on 182, and an article, too, all focused on this.
Excellent. So plenty to get into. Let's start with that central idea then, being still and this concept of going home.
Hmm.
Our sources make it clear pretty quickly that home isn't like a place on a map, is it?
Not at all. No, that's a common misconception, maybe at first glance. Yeah, but all materials really emphasize that the core of Lesson 182, and therefore this review, is about the peace that comes up when we just will become still.
Okay.
And in that stillness, recognizing our true home, which the Course frames as being in the presence of God or Spirit or whatever term resonates.
So it's an inner state,
Yeah,
not a destination.
exactly. It's not a physical journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like recognizing a state of inner being, a deep awareness of that connection that's always there.
So finding a quiet corner might help, but that's not the main point. It's about what's happening inside during that quiet moment.
Precisely. Stillness creates an opening, like you said.
Right.
And our sources, they point out this stillness is, well, it's much more than just not having noise around.
Mm-hmm.
It's presented as an active pathway, really.
Yeah.
A way to reconnect with who we fundamentally are, our true identity.
Like peeling back layers.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Peeling back the busyness, the anxieties, the constant mental chatter to uncover the quiet peace that, according to the Course, has always been there underneath.
And the affirmation itself sort of sums that up. I will be still an instant and go home.
Beautifully, yes. It captures that movement inward, that intention to just pause and return.
So why is this idea so important that the Course circles back to it? Why dedicate a whole review lesson to stillness?
Well, both the study guide and the review piece really hammer home that stillness is fundamental for spiritual growth,
Huh.
getting deeper understanding.
Okay.
Think about our lives, right? They're often so hectic, filled with noise, both external and, maybe more importantly, internal, that constant stream of thoughts.
Yeah, the mental noise can be relentless.
Exactly. And it's easy to lose touch with that, inner sanctuary. Stillness gives us a chance to step back,
To just observe.
to observe the mental chatter without getting swept away by it, and crucially, to maybe hear a different kind of guidance, a quieter voice.
That connects directly to that big theme in the Course, doesn't it? Shifting perception. Moving away from what it calls the ego's way of thinking towards the Holy Spirit's perspective, how does stillness help make that shift?
Great question. If you map it onto the Course's framework, you've got this contrast, right?
Ego versus Holy Spirit.
Yeah. And the ego, as the sources describe it, is just characterized by noise. Constant, loud, often fearful, distracting thoughts. It keeps us feeling anxious,
Right.
separate,
Busy mind.
very busy mind. The Holy Spirit, on the other hand, offers this quiet, peaceful guidance. It comes from a place of love, of truth, of unity.
So stillness is like creating the reception.
Exactly. It's like creating the quiet space needed to actually tune into that gentler voice, letting it cut through the static of the ego.
Like turning down the volume on one radio station so you can finally hear the other one clearly.
Perfect analogy. Yeah.
Okay, that really clarifies why it's so vital. It's not just about feeling calm, it's about accessing a whole different guidance system.
A different way of seeing everything.
So the million-dollar question then is, how do we actually do this? In our real, often chaotic lives, the sources had some practical tips.
They do. And integrating it is key because this isn't about needing, hours of retreat every
Well,
day.
it needs to be doable.
Exactly. So daily meditation is one practical route, even 5 minutes. Setting aside that time intentionally,
Or sitting.
sitting, being present with your breath, watching thoughts come and go without latching onto them. That's the practice.
Okay.
Mindfulness practices are another great tool mentioned, like really paying attention when you're walking or eating or washing dishes.
Being present in the ordinary moments.
Yes, it cultivates that inner stillness, even when you're doing things. It's not about stopping activity necessarily, but changing your relationship to the activity and your thoughts about it.
I also saw a journaling mention as a way towards stillness, which I found interesting. How does that work?
Well, think of it like a mental clearing out. You can pour out all those worries, the to-do lists, the swirling emotions onto the page.
Like an offload.
Exactly. It can act as a release valve for the mind. And by getting it out, you often create more internal space, more quiet after the writing.
That makes sense. Clear the clutter.
hmm And one source gave a really vivid example. Picture a moment of total chaos in your day.
Easy to do.
Right. A stressful meeting maybe, or traffic, or juggling family demands. The lesson suggests that even right there, in that instant,
You can pause.
you can pause. Take one conscious breath and silently affirm, I will be still an instant and go home. Connect with that inner stillness, even for a fleeting second.
Finding the eye of the storm.
Precisely. It's not necessarily about making the storm go away, but finding that calm center within it. That feels much more achievable sometimes.
Definitely. It reframes it. It's not escape, it's finding refuge inside. Okay, so the sources also suggest specific exercises we could try.
Yeah, there's this stillness practice. It's pretty straightforward.
How does that go?
Find a quiet place if you can. Sit comfortably, maybe close your eyes, take some slow, deep breaths, and with each exhale, really consciously let go of tension, let go of distractions. And the suggestion is to stay with that for at least, say, 5 minutes. Holding that affirmation in your mind, I will be still an instant and go home. Just gently focusing on it.
Okay, 5 minutes feels manageable. And the other one, the reflection exercise. That seemed more integrated into the day.
Yeah, that one's designed to be used on the fly.
How so?
Whenever you notice yourself feeling stressed or rushed or just mentally busy, the exercise is simply to pause, right then and there.
Stop for a second.
Yeah. Take one deep breath, silently repeat the affirmation, I will be still an instant, and go home. And then just notice. Observe if anything shifts in how you feel or see the situation. No big pressure, just a gentle check-in.
A micro practice.
Exactly. Little moments, consistently applied.
Let's talk a bit more about the affirmation itself. I will be still an instant and go home. It's so short, but it feels packed with meaning.
It really is remarkably potent for how simple it sounds, isn't it?
Yeah.
I will be still an instant. That first part acknowledges our choice, our power, even in the middle of everything, to just pause for a single instant.
Taking back a moment of control, almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least agency over our inner state, and go home.
Yeah.
As we've established, that's not about packing bags.
Right. It's the inner return.
It's the return to our true self, to that core state of peace, love, connection, whatever you want to call it. Our inherent nature, our grounding, and, well, the divine, as the Course puts it.
So the whole phrase is like a mini meditation, a reset button.
Exactly. Accessible anytime, anywhere. You just need the willingness to pause for that instant.
So going home is fundamentally about remembering who we really are, beyond the roles, the stress, the personality we present.
That's it. Our true home, in the Course's view, is that state of oneness, connection, peace, love. It's our natural state.
And the ego tries to make us forget that.
The ego's whole game is convincing us we're separate, small, vulnerable, defined by the body and the world. Stillness helps us gently loosen the ego's grip. It lets us remember, or at least get a glimpse of, that underlying reality, that connection to something much bigger, much more peaceful.
Okay. And the review material, it ends with a question for you, the listener, to reflect on.
A really good one.
How can I incorporate moments of stillness into my daily routine to reconnect with my true self and foster a sense of peace?
And the emphasis there really feels like it's on the moments.
Yeah, not grand gestures.
Exactly. It's not about needing an hour of silence every day, although that might be nice. It's about finding those small pockets.
Like what?
Maybe it's just 1 minute of mindful breathing before you start your car, or taking 3 conscious breaths between emails, a deliberate pause before you react in a conversation.
Small steps.
Tiny steps. It's the intention, the consistency, that gentle returning to stillness that makes the difference. Not striving for some perfect, unattainable state of Zen all the time.
Right. It's the practice, not perfection.
Precisely.
So wrapping up this deep dive into Lesson 202, reviewing Lesson 182, it really paints stillness not just as, like, emptiness or lack of noise.
No, definitely not.
But as a powerful presence, a doorway, really.
A doorway to our deepest self, yeah. And to that profound peace that the Course insists is always available to us.
And the key is realizing that by choosing even just one instant to be still, we have this incredible power to shift our whole perspective, to find our way home in that inner sense.
It's always just an instant away, which is incredibly hopeful, I think.
It is.
So we really encourage you to maybe experiment with this. Try the stillness practice, use the affirmation, see what happens.
Yeah, just notice what shifts, what little insights pop up.
And remember, it's not about achieving some flawless state of mind. It's just about gently, kindly returning to that place of inner calm whenever you remember, amidst everything else.
So maybe a final thought to leave you with. Building on what we've explored, if stillness is the doorway home, what small threshold, maybe one you haven't considered before, could you cross today, just for an instant, to step closer to that peace?
Ooh, that's a good one to ponder.
Welcome to Daily Harmony. May this exploration inspire you to find those still moments, those instants, and truly recognize the peace that already resides within you. What really stands out to you about finding home in stillness? This is just the start, really, and we invite you to keep exploring this incredibly rich teaching.